Hello and welcome to EC&M Ask, a Q&A video series brought to you by EC&M Magazine and found on the Members Only section of our website, in which readers pose their most pressing electrical questions and they are answered by our subject matter experts. Hello, my name is Don Kiper. I'm president of Electrical Estimating 101. I provide training for electrical contractors, estimators, project management, and to help them estimate and transition into passing off projects to the field more efficiently. I've been in the electrical industry since 1975 and have provided training for over 400 estimators, project managers, and owners. So today's question is, what are the qualities of an estimator? Or maybe it would be, what does it take to become an estimator? I've been asked, what is the skill set do I need? So let's jump in and see if we can answer this and give you some insight to help you if you are interested in pursuing a career in electrical estimating. I talk with potential clients weekly, sometimes multiple times in a week, and I'm asked the question, I was asked that question yesterday actually, what does it take to become an electrical estimator? So of course, having electrical construction experience is vital. I was called one time by a contractor and he wanted to send the employee, and the contractor tried to convince me that this individual was quality, was smart, was computer savvy. I simply asked this question, does this employee know the difference between a wire nut and a lock nut? And he told me that this employee did not. And I thought, that may be problematic. You must have construction experience. You will advance in this trade much faster. You must know how the work goes together, how the materials are installed. Just because you are a good electrician does not mean that you will become a good electrical estimator. I would ask you this question, do all great football players become great football coaches? Well, of course not, because coaching and playing is two different things. So I made a list of at least 18 or 19 qualities that I believe an individual must possess in order to become a quality electrical estimator. First of all, you must be trained in estimating philosophy and methodology. Estimating is one thing, being an electrician is another thing, performing as a foreman on a project requires another skill set of abilities, being a project manager, being a foreman. All of these positions for an electrical contractor all require training, so you need to be properly trained. I tell people, Don Kiper has a circular saw, I have a 4-foot level, I have a 16-ounce claw hammer, I have a plumb bob, I have a chalk line, I have a router. I have all of these carpenter tools, but Don Kiper is not a carpenter. I cannot teach you how to build a house because I do not understand the principles and fundamentals of framing and forming. So using estimating tools will not make you an estimator. You must understand the philosophies and the methodology of the trade. Second thing you must know is you must know electrical material. You must know there's certain types of conduit for certain types of installation, certain types of cable for certain types of wiring. You must have a knowledge of how those materials are installed. You must know whether some can be put in the slab and some cannot be put in the slab. You must know if some can be exposed to the weather and some cannot be. Maybe there's a commercial installation, an industrial, a water treatment plant, maybe a chemical plant where it's an explosion-proof atmosphere. All of these types of projects require different types of materials and must be looked at in a different way. Fourth thing you need is a good knowledge of the National Electrical Code. Now, you don't have to be a code expert, but you do have to have some basic code knowledge of conduit fill. How many conductors can you put in a certain size conduit? The length of that circuit before you have to consider a voltage drop calculation. Maybe you have to size a junction box. Maybe you have to put cable supports on a vertical rise of a conduit in a building. So being knowledgeable with the code will be very helpful in estimating. A fifth thing, you must understand electrical symbols on drawings. When you look at a symbol on the drawing, you must be able to translate that into a box, a receptacle, a plate, an equipment connection, something. You must be able to understand what those symbols mean. The fifth thing, being a great electrical estimator, is being able to think in 3D. Drawings are 2D. You can see the flat blueprint of the building, the floor plan, the plan. You can see the elevation of the building. You can see the top of the building, the side. But when you estimate, you got to think in 3D. You got to be able to see the building being built. You got to see the floors rising above each other and imagining and picturing what it's going to take to estimate this material. The seventh thing you need is the ability to read and interpret drawings and specifications. You must be able to look at a set of drawings and look at wall elevations and wall cuts and wall sections and be able to translate that to the electrical drawings. You must be able to open a specification and get the material, the catalog numbers, how to install it. You must have software skills. We use email every day. We communicate a lot by email. We use spreadsheets. We use estimating software. I have studied this about electrical estimating software. An estimator will use the software about 85% of their time. So if the estimator is going to use the software 85% of their time and performing their duty, you must be proficient in that software. So you must be an excellent software user. You must be willing to learn it. You must apply yourself and master that software. The next thing you need is people skills. As an estimator, you will be interacting with many groups of people. You may interact with people at a pre-bid meeting. At this pre-bid meeting, you may meet the owner. You may meet the architect. You may meet your competitors. You may meet general contractors. And so you will need to learn to have people skills in presenting and representing your company well. You'll have to deal with customers. You may receive an assignment to go out and visit one of your customers' projects and building and walk through the building with the customer and decide what needs to be done. You'll need to learn to work with vendors, your suppliers. Next, you will need written communication skills. You must learn to communicate well with words, both written and oral communication. Next, you must work well with numbers and percentages. As an estimator, you'll be constantly calculating labor hour totals, material totals. You'll need to know what percentages those labor hours are of a certain portion of the project. Maybe you have to extract those labor hours out and put them in overtime. So you must be very well with numbers. You don't have to be an algebra expert or maybe geometry or those type of math skills, but some basic percentage calculations and additions and analyzing a project will be beneficial to you. The next, you must be detail oriented. Electrical estimating requires detail, and great skill set of being a good estimator is giving attention to detail. Next is the ability to prioritize and manage multiple projects. I've worked in 7 electrical contractors' offices, and it can get fast-paced. Your chief estimator may present to you several small projects at one given time, and you will have to learn to calculate and look and see how long this job will take and prioritize those little small estimates that you do not get behind. Managing multiple projects is a great asset. Next, you must be a team player. We've all heard the old adage, there is no I in team. And when you work in an office, you'll be working with your owner, your chief estimator, maybe a purchaser, project managers, maybe a vice president of operations. And in a company, we want to build a team. The great NBA player Michael Jordan said, games are won with talent. But Michael Jordan said that championships are won with team. You must have a great team effort in order to have a championship contract. Next, you must have the ability to meet deadlines. I always posted these on my Microsoft Outlook calendar and set an alarm, maybe 12 hours before, to remind me, hey, I've got this, I've got to get out the door. You must meet deadlines. Next, you must work under pressure. Contracting can be a pressure-filled environment. So you must be able to stand the heat in the kitchen, because sometimes pressure will build in order to get to work and meet the deadlines and get the work out the door. Next, you must have the ability to work independently. Mastering this trade of electrical estimating, trust me, you cannot every 5 minutes go run to your boss and ask him questions. You will interrupt his day so bad. If you're so dependent upon all of those around you, you're not going to fare very well. You must learn to think, master the trade, learn it, and study it, and learn to work independently to get your job done. And above all, I probably would say this is the most important one. You must have a desire. If your heart is not in becoming a great skilled electrical estimator, I doubt you're going to function very well in this position. You must want to do it. And it was a great trade. I enjoyed estimating. I loved it. I was driven by the passion of bid day because I was looking forward to being low bidder. Pat Riley, the great NBA coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, said, if you are not determined to get better at what you're doing, you are destined to get worse. So the skills to become a great electrical estimator will require you to focus, give attention to detail, and above all, you must have a desire. Well, it looks like we're out of time for today. We'll pick up next time with answers to your most pressing questions. Thank you again for joining us today with this edition of EC&M Asks, produced by EC&M Magazine, which is a part of the portfolio of Endeavor Business Media Publications. Tune back in next time, and we'll answer some more of your questions. Thank you, and have a great day.